fellow classic TV fans. Our friend, the lovely Kathy Garver, rejoins us today for an episode we're calling The Third Time's the Charm. When I played back this interview, I instantly had a smile on my face that stayed there throughout the entire process. When we hear Kathy speak, you don't envision the iconic actress who's been on big and small screens for over 6 decades. What you hear is the youthful effervescence and vitality of an entertainer seemingly still in her 20s. I mean, it's Sissy, who, by the way, still retains a great deal of her natural beauty. We talk about the fun evening we spent recently at a General Hospital fan event. As my band Kurth and Taylor performed, you'll hear about an unforgettable moment for me that Kathy was a part of. If you listened to last week's interview with Kent McCord, you'll remember us joking about a young Miss Garver being steered away from an inevitable life of crime. But was it a joke? Kathy has quite the tale to tell regarding that. We have so much fun in this interview, I can say that it is absolutely one of my favorites. We also discuss her current film work and some upcoming films and events. We also hear about some exciting new Christmas merchandise available at kathygarver.com for the Family Affair fan on your list. So with that, enjoy The Third Time's the Charm with Family Affair's Kathy Garver. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the podcast for the third time, the awesome Energizer Bunny herself, Kathy Garver. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, third time's the charm. Here we go.
How'd you like that? It was like one of those, I was like a wrestling announcer.
I like it. I like it. I can wrestle. I had 2 big brothers and they taught me how to wrestle. So you could announce that.
There you go. You could be the Energizer Bunny. In this corner, the masked Energizer Bunny. I don't know.
I like it.
I tagged you with that nickname. It's like, oh, this isn't going away.
It's all right because I think it's very applicable. Now maybe we'll get an app for that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that knows you, that I've spoken to, agrees that it fits perfectly.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have things going, the devil's going to get you by the bootstrings. So got to keep active and doing one's thing.
I agree. And as a matter of fact, after reading Surviving Sissy, I knew your whole story.
Yep.
Go.
Hard to hide things when you're on Wikipedia and IMDb and Google and all those other things. I mean, I tried to hide my age for a long time till I was outed by my cousin in the National Enquirer. Thank you. She wrote for them for 20 years. But I don't know. I haven't talked a lot to her lately.
Now she's the head of TMZ.
Right. Yeah, and Google.
Was that Kathy Garver sighted, pulled over on the side of the road on the Hollywood freeway?
Oh, I just got pulled over on the Hollywood freeway. I was so mad. I was a little late going to the Magic Castle, and I was seeing a performance there, and I had to be there, and I was on the Hollywood freeway, and I'm just about to get off on the Highland exit. So I get off and this traffic is so slow, but then I see these cars merging on the right from a ramp. And I says, well, it's my next exit. I'll just go along with those people. So I went along with those people. And all of a sudden I have this policeman following me all the way to the Hollywood Bowl because I wasn't going to stop on the freeway.
Not there.
LA. I don't think so. So I pulled over. And I says, well, what happened? And he says, well, you passed that truck on the right. Passed the truck on the right. It was this ginormous truck. And it just happened to be on my left-hand side. I was going on the right. And I said, I see why the traffic is so slow. And I said, no, I wasn't. I was just merging with the people to get off at the next exit. No, you weren't. And he gave me a ticket. And I yelled at him, surprised. And he brought me over the ticket. And he says, I said, I'm not signing that. Well, if you don't sign it, I'm taking you to jail. Really? Really? I said, you are stopping this little old lady that's going to the Magic Castle to do something that's right around the corner, and there are people killing each other and going 100 miles an hour on the freeway. What are you doing? I'm supporting myself. I pay all my taxes. I'm a good person. You're giving me a ticket? Anyway, and he just stood there stalwart. And I said, I took a breath and I said, well, thank you for my diatribe. Listening. So he gave me the ticket and I said, I'll see you in court. I think you're not a nice person.
He must have been bored that day. There must not have been enough slow speed chases that day on the freeway, or high speed for that matter, which is like a daily occurrence.
I know, the freeways are just awful. I just got the Silver Spur Award, which was really cool. And it's given by the Real Cowboys, their REEL Cowboy organization. It's made up of women and men that have done Westerns and actors and actresses and stunt people. And it's been around for a long time. Anyway, I was very proud to get this award. And Chris Knight was my presenter, who was just a dear. He was Peter on the Brady Bunch. And part of my speech, I said, I am so thankful for my friends who came out and support me. I said, my friends Marcy and Ken, who came all the way up from Fallbrook to Hollywood, and to my friend Sebastian and Gary, who came all the way from Palm Springs to Hollywood, and to my brother Lance that came up from the Hermosa Beach, and to dear Chris Knight and his lovely wife Kara, who fought the traffic on a Friday night on the 405. Now that's loyalty. So anyway.
Well, it is. And fortunately, nobody got a traffic ticket. If I'd been speaking to Officer Reed from Adam 12, if I hadn't been speaking to him just a few days ago, that Kathy Garver. It is so good we steered her away from the life of crime that she was headed towards. And I thought, oh, you ain't heard the half of it.
Well, usually I was listening to NCIS last night, and this guy was kind of in the doldrums, and he was feeling not good about himself. And he says, and I read on Facebook and everything, and all these people my age are married and accomplishing things. And then the other fellow said, well, they only post good things. They never post bad things that they've done. So, except for on my Facebook, people, I'm dying. My friend is dying. Say some prayers. I get everything.
Yeah, but I think you generally keep it on the sunny side. I mean, how could you not? That's your entire disposition. So, except for the episode of Cops, which was up there, and I was just like, bad girl, what you gonna do?
I was going to try and break my image for being the good girl, what you got going. So
I'll show you a slow speed chase. And then it could cut to a shot of you on Yellowbird, driving either the motorhome.
Yeah, in that movie, they didn't show the part where I overturn the truck and run into a tree. But that was a little bit more expensive to do.
Yeah.
So they just got, oh, yeah, she's in the hospital.
Fill in the blanks.
Yeah, right. Use your imagination. That's what it's there for.
Oh, that was such an entertaining role. I loved you in that.
I had fun with it.
You look like
it's always fun to talk with you, Pat. I swear to God. It's been too long.
Yes.
You were just so wonderful when I saw you in Glendale with your band. I had no idea you had such talents and such talented friends.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere with me, Kathy.
Okay, well, you were just fabulous. You were just so...
You know it. Oh, this was 3 months ago, and yes, it was a General Hospital event, which the band that I played with was on the show during the turn of the century. I can't believe I say that. It's such a weird thing to say. And you were so wonderful to grace us with your presence. Hank Garrett and his lovely wife, Deanna Marie, came out too. And for those of you who weren't there, I got to share something with you. And Kathy, you probably know what I'm going to be talking about here because there's 100 memories clear in my head about being on stage and performing music. I'd done it thousands of times. You would think I'd have a lot of good memories. There's 3 that really stick out. One is misjudging that last step onto the stage while playing and falling flat on my face. That was a good one. Another one was while we were on the show, my first performance with them was in Lansing, Michigan at an auditorium that was sold out. And we were behind a curtain. And when that curtain opened, the reaction was the one that makes so many people want to become musicians, which was screams. Like the Beatles, I was like, oh, there it is. I saw the Beatles. I said, I want to be a Beatle. And that for that one time, that one moment, not that we didn't have great enthusiastic crowds for the rest of the 10 years we went out, but that was like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be a Beatle.
Yeah.
But then there was this thing in Glendale about 3 months ago I got to tell you guys about. Kathy, you weren't there, so you don't really need to listen to this, but...
Yes, I was.
Boy, were you. And I was like, this is so neat. How do I make this? Because I'm up on stage. I see you and Hank out there, and you're just some of the best friends I've got, giving me the love. And I'm like, how do I make this an occasion worth remembering? And I know, I turned to my friend Wally Kurth, who's, the TV star there. And I said, Wally, I hate to tell you this, but you are not the only TV star in the room tonight. And I proceed to introduce Hank, last surviving member of Car 54. Everybody gave us this just thunderous applause. And then I say, okay, and then I have another friend here, and I can call her Energizer Bunny, blah, blah, blah. And I end with, but of course, you would all know her as Sissy from Family Affair, right? Soon as I get done saying that, I had never seen this. I've never experienced it. I never will again, which is why I will never forget it. This whole place did a collective...
her?
It erupted in applause. Oh man, I'm knocking my microphone around and everything. I'm reliving it, Kathy. The place exploded. But it exploded with the first collective gasp that I'd ever heard. That was a positive one, by the way. It wasn't like somebody got hit by a truck. It was like, oh, what? And, oh, I'll never forget that. I won't.
Yeah, it would. Thank you. Well, thank you for introducing me. I think that was so nice from the stage. When I'm on the stage, I like to introduce my friends, that are in the audience. And they were a lovely crowd. I mean, they were all excited because, well, your band had written the theme song for General Hospital. And so they had a special love for that. Music always touches the soul. But they, I think, were just like surprised, like kind of having a little bit of icing on this fabulous cake that they were enjoying so much. That was you guys and your music, your wonderful camaraderie. And, and then like standing ovations, everybody then started coming up to me. Oh, hi, I really liked your show. And what a nice television show. And it was the kind of audience that not only watches General Hospital, that would watch Family Affair. And so it was just a lovely moment. And I also will not forget that. And thank you for making it happen.
Well, it was certainly unexpected. Let me say that again. It was certainly, let me say that again.
I know I've got you tongue-tied because I was speaking so eloquently on you.
Okay, now that I've just edited out all my horrific tongue ties here, it was really special. What else to say about? I have to do a disclaimer here, though. We did not write the theme for General Hospital. Although Kathy would have us have done that, I certainly would have been a lot richer than I am now. The fact was, we won a daytime Emmy for outstanding original song. So that was the big claim to fame for that band. And
but wasn't it played on General Hospital?
Multiple songs, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I knew there were lots of accolades coming your way on that.
yeah, well, and as you saw, we're not actors who play musicians. Wally is the perfect hybrid, whereas we were musicians who suddenly had to learn how to act, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Scariest thing I've ever done in my life, but other than that, fun.
And it was wonderful getting the band back together because you guys don't play, all the time. And so that was very, special occasions.
Yeah. We have so many great memories that it's one of those things where it's like, we could play together again. We don't have to play together again, but we'll always be brothers. It'll always be a family. And that's, what happens in show business. You become more than friends, not lovers, sometimes lovers, definitely not in this case.
But I could really, and the audience could all feel the warmth between you all and how much you liked each other and got along. Sometimes when you work with people, you don't have such wonderful relationships or, chemistry. And then that really requires a lot of good acting. I read about some of these stories where, the people on the cast that when they were doing the show really didn't quite get along. But, you could tell that you fellows were just right in sync.
Well, and it's funny because everybody that I talk to about you, mutual friends and folks that you've hooked me up with, Christopher Knight, as a matter of fact, was one of them. Dreama Denver, not too long ago. And then ones that I built relationships through Harlan Bowl, Ruta Lee, for example. You just come up in every conversation, Kathy. You just do. And you think it's because, I hated working with her on this. Oh, she was such a prima donna. No.
Yeah, or those are my peers. Those are the people in my era. And, the feeling is mutually exclusive. Ruta is absolutely divine. All of them, Dreama and Chris and his wife, Kara, is one of the nicest people I have ever met. I mean, she's like almost number one.
Yeah.
Besides, she's number two. You're number one, Pat.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. I didn't want to be unseated, but you're right. Because you introduced me to them, I got to experience that. And it's all true. The only one was Kent McCord, who was just like, I should have put her away when I had the chance.
Well, yeah, there's a cop for you.
He loved that.
I'm full circle.
He loved that. I said, Kathy said you're a really nice guy, ... if for a cop.
For a cop.
Don't get her started. She's going to fight that ticket, damn it.
Yeah, that's right. I was just merging. Not passing. I was getting off at the next exit. I wanted to get in the right lane like a good driver should.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely fight it. I fought a speeding ticket once and won.
Yeah.
This was prior to dash cam. So I don't know.
Were you telling the truth?
Absolutely. Well, the point was the radar that he said he got me with, he could not tell the judge that it was my car as opposed to the car that was in front of me driving erratically that I was passing on the right. That sounds familiar, I bet.
Yes.
But there was he could not prove the technology had it fixed on my car or their car who was actually speeding it. That's what won it. I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought, your dad being a lawyer lover, and he used to get excited to go to court screaming, documentation wins, as he charged off into the street.
See? It comes down through the ages.
Oh, I swear, I had to be 16 years old, 17 maybe. And I was scared to death. My dad's feeding me these questions. This poor cop is just like, nobody fights me. I wasn't prepared. So maybe it'll be worth it, Kathy, just say.
Well, yes. I mean, all I'm doing is getting in the right lane to get off at the exit. And he says, I'm passing on the right. No, I will find it. I'll let you know how it comes out. Maybe it will be a nice birthday and Christmas present for me.
There you go. We're rooting for you.
Thank you.
I'll keep you posted. So you can address your Christmas cards this year to the Women's Penitentiary. And
Yeah. Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, and I am busy this season. I'm doing a Christmas memory. I was going to see if I could do it up north, but I'm doing it in Palm Springs and two presentations in Hollywood. One at the Hollywood Heritage Museum, and then the other one right over the hill in Burbank at the Burbank Museum. A lot of museums, and the other one in Palm Springs is to benefit the Down Syndrome Film Festival that's going to be in Palm Springs in in October of 2024. So they're fundraising to make this fabulous film festival that I'll be a part of. But I love doing a Christmas memory. Do you know it? It's a short story by Truman Capote, and he's Breakfast at Tiffany's, and
sure.
Very well renowned writer. So this is a short story that he wrote when he was younger. And it's based on truth and his experience. And it really is just so well written. And I do it with a PowerPoint of this beautifully illustrated book from which I'm reading. And so in all of them, we're having like cider, or the one in Palm Springs will have wine and cookies and light fare, and then desserts. And I'm doing a meet and greet and Q&A. So it's good. And they're all going to be really, really fun. Did you say you wanted to know how to get tickets?
I did. Please.
I thought you did. So for the Palm Springs one right now, it's up on my website, because that's the nearest one. That's November 30th, coming up very quickly. And so you just go to my website, kathygarver.com. We all know that's pretty easy. KATHYGARVER, kathygarver.com, and it's on the front page. And then I'll repost after this one is done for December, because it's December 9th is Burbank and December 10th is Hollywood. And then they'll have those, how you can get tickets for those.
And then December 15th is in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is, canceled.
Yeah, I should have made it for December 15th. I didn't.
Well, I know you. Okay, first of all, obviously, you can tell just by this bright and bubbly personality you're hearing, folks, that she's an expert at spoken word. And, you bring in the fact that you're an amazing actress, but then you're able to also consider yourself, I guess the term would be voice actor. You're bringing these elements into this, which I'm sure just makes it a magical experience for folks. I do hope to see it someday.
Yeah, someday I'll bring it up to Northern California. And yeah, I've done like 80 audiobooks, and for my voiceover, and that this weekend I'm going to the Northeast Comic-Con with my Firestar images and pictures, and they have like new Marvel action figures of Firestar. So I'm bringing those.
Right. You were mentioning that. You mentioned that to me last time. Now you're going to probably reach to the phone and choke me when you find out this actually won't come out until December 1st, but...
Okay, so you guys have missed this fabulous Comic-Con that I did over the weekend.
And it'll be the last one she'll ever do, period. It's her last chance.
Now, in January, I'm doing the Pasadena Comic-Con.
If you'd have said, oh, by the way, Pat, it is my last one. Oh.
No, I got one in Pasadena next month. I've got one in Idaho. I don't know. For the X-RetroCon in Idaho. Yeah, so it won't be my last. It won't be my last.
That I'm sure of.
I have too much fun at them.
Well, and again, there's that. Why does he call her the Energizer Bunny? You got to figure this out. Boy, oh boy.
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure I'll be doing a movie in Australia in March. And so I've never been to Australia. So
Really?
This will be fun, yeah. Australia, New Zealand, because it's a long way away. That's a 10-hour flight.
Stranded in the jungles of Vietnam, but never to Australia.
You're right. Yeah. Well, I just follow God's lead and, it says, okay, where are we going next?
People are like, what's Pat talking about? Where's he going with this? Get Surviving Sissy, folks. You'll hear about it.
Yes, how I was stranded, and I relate the experience of I was on a USO tour, and this nice young man says, I know where we can see the falls, and they're so beautiful. So I think I've told this story before to you. But anyway, we got lost, and he was so embarrassed, and the Army did not like either sending out their helicopter to pick up their lost and wanton people. And especially he says, well, how could you lose a nice actress from Hollywood in the jungles of the Philippines, wherever we were? I remember. I remember it was the jungles of the Philippines. I never did see the falls. I love waterfalls. Never did see the waterfalls. Oh, well.
Fortunately, you escaped with your life.
Yeah. If we had, I probably would have drowned. No, I would not have. But you never know. So it's one door opens, or, what was the movie Sliders?
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Yeah, you push the door this way and you go, or you push the door the other way and that happens.
Yep. Our mutual friend Hank Garrett told me a story of his experience in Vietnam doing stand-up comedy for the troops, and all of a sudden machine gun fire.
Oh, dear.
And while all the other guys are like, take cover, he's screaming out, critics!
That's great. That's great. I just saw him on Saturday at the Real Cowboy. We have meetings every other Saturday. So his wife, Deanne Marie, we saw them. And he got a Life Achievement Award at the Silver Spurs. Oh. So that was quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah. What a life, too. Holy smokes, I tell you.
Yeah.
It's a movie. Hopefully, someday. But speaking of movies, I tied that in perfectly.
Well done. Nice segue.
The church is empty, Kathy.
The Empty Church is in its final edit. And it's such a lovely movie. It's going to be a really, really heartfelt, moving picture that I think so many people can identify with on a lot of different levels. It was written and produced and directed by my friend John Norton, who's done a lot of movies, and he's from Chicago. And this one, his own son committed suicide. And he was the audio person that helped John. He was just in his 20s. And John just still, and the wife, can't understand what happened. So he turned this grief and into a movie with the character is actually playing him. But it's based on an autobiographical thing, but it translated into a piece of fiction and work. And he was visiting his friend on like 2,400 acres south of Chicago. They have this big rural grassland, and her husband, they grow soy and corn, and it has been in the family for like 3 or 4 generations. And on the property was his church. And he went into the church, and he felt so inspired and had this feeling with God. And he says, I'm going to write this about my son, and we'll shoot it here. And it's so touching, and we shot some scenes right there then also on the farmland. But it's a good movie, and the actors in it are superior. So it will be out next year, and with the theatrical release before it goes to streaming. That seems to be the way that people are doing it now, or at least the movies that I do. They release it theatrically, and then it finds a home on, Amazon Prime or Netflix or Roku or, whatever.
Yeah. These autobiographical films, see, I had to say that again. I am the king of the tongue twist today. Thank you very much. Would you say I mean, this is, to me, as I'm saying, it sounds like a stupid question, but what is the atmosphere? Is it the feeling of heaviness or is it the feeling of I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing something good, there's a redemption, there's a lightness to it? What would you say?
I think it's a combination of a mystery because the whole thing is based on the main character, who is John, as played by Nick Harden, who is just a fabulous actor, finding answers. Why did this happen? So it's like a mystery. Why did he do it? What was there? And it was also about John not accepting God and saying, God, why would you do this? Why would you take our son away? And then it's people trying to say that sometimes it's the person's right time and you don't know why. And then there's a really stunning thing at the end, and some part redemption. And then there's this kind of thread that goes to it, that when he gets in the car, the radio, there's some kind of a pastor and he can't change the channel. And this pastor keeps talking to him. He can't change the channel. So there are a lot of different elements in it. It's a drama because the subject matter is very serious, but it's also inspiration because he finds a way to deal with things.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great. That does. And of course, if you're in it, it will be. So we'll watch for that and we'll promote it. Speaking of promoting, gosh, I'm on a roll here, Kathy.
always that.
You usually have just the most intensely great merchandise at your online store. I said intensely great. You know, you could put those two words together. Oh my gosh. Yes, folks, I don't read a script here. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Yes. Okay. You're intensely great.
Thank you very much, as are you. You have a great intensity, which makes you intensely great.
Oh my gosh. Massacre. But the online store and your wonderful Christmas lines. You got anything new coming out this season?
Well, yes. And we just released that it's Black Friday and there's 10% off everything. And so you go to my website and then it's Kathy's Emporium. And we have, as I say, 10% off all until November the 30th. And there are these adorable little Mrs. Beasley ornaments that talk. I mean, they're just like 3 inches big for an ornament to fit on your tree. And they are the exact replica of the doll, Mrs. Beasley. And it's a plush. And they also have the glass stone ornaments of Mrs. Beasley. So those are available. And my wonderful son, Scott, has made me new Christmas candles for this year. We have different Christmas candles that come out each year with a different scent. And this one is really nice. It's a cinnamon spice. And he just made them. And actually, when I do my Christmas memory presentations, I have small ones. And it says, A Christmas Memory with Kathy Garver. Those are giveaways. I'm giving those to the wonderful people that come to see and hear my presentation of A Christmas Memory. But the other candles are bigger candles and room spray with the same scent. So you can get the scent of Christmas all year long and the smell. That's what makes Christmas so nice, already. And my books, of course, Surviving Sissy and the Ex-Child Star book, my first book, the Family Affair Cookbook, and especially nice is holiday recipes for a family affair. And this is the biggest holiday. Halloween was second, but I have Halloween recipes in there as well. A new book coming out. It's not on my online store yet, but it is Romancing with the Stars. And this I'm writing with my friend and Doug Hartline that I met at an autograph show. I tell you, I have some dear friends that I meet at autograph shows, I can't tell you, that stay lifelong good friends. And Doug is like one of those people, and the Grubers and you, and it's amazing. And Fred and Manny, they make my newsletter. And my newsletter if you're on my email list, then you'll get the newsletter, and it has an announcement today that last week that just came out, and we may extend it past November the 30th for your listeners, but I think that we might extend the 10% off. I'm going to ask Mary and Fred if they'll do that, and maybe till December 7th.
That would be awesome. That would be intensely great, Kathy.
Yes, it would.
Oh my God.
Like you're
Where's Doug Hartline when I need him? Jeez, Doug. Feed me some words. Feed me some lines.
You do pretty well with your own words, let me tell you.
It's intensely great, man. From the Energizer Bunny herself. Whoa, I'm a genius.
We're all geniuses.
Brother.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Well, Kathy, as always, an immense pleasure talking to you, my friend.
Thanks.
And as I said before, I agree with Mr. McCord that the life of crime certainly would not have suited you as well as show business. No.
Right. You got to sidestep those crimes in order to survive in show business, but there's another way besides drugs and other things. So
you still played a bad kid really good, though. I mean, you played bad good.
I remember my acting class, Stella Adler, and you're playing this sick person. You can hardly, hear the sick person. They says, you got to play the sick person like the person is well. The same way that you play a drunk as if he hasn't had anything to drink. So that's what makes the person look, more drunk, because they're trying to pretend they're not drunk. So it's all in the flavor of acting.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you are a jack of all trades, or a
Jill. I'm a Jill
of all trades. As I keep sinking myself deeper into this hole of trying to make clever innuendos, I think it's probably time I should let you go.
No, well, it is. I'm not going for that reason, but
no, I'm letting you go.
It's always a delight speaking with you. I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas and all the best holidays. And for this new year, maybe we approach it with all our heart and our inspiration and imagination. And it doesn't matter the way someone says something, as long as they're talking to another person through their heart.
There you have it. That just got me off the hook for all those stupid things I just said. All right. Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome anytime.
It was from the heart. Oh, boy. Well, we all wish you the same that you just wished us. You're so wonderful and you're so genuine. And this is the genuine article, folks. So we love you, Kathy.
Love you too, Pat, and your family. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thanks. You too. Well, there you have it. Another Retro TV Radio episode in the books. Be sure to check out kathygarver.com and remember to browse through her merchandise for the perfect Christmas gift. I'd also like to thank all of you for sticking with me during this podcast journey, and to Kathy for being directly responsible for lining up Christopher Knight, Butch Patrick, and Dream of Denver for this podcast. Please remember to subscribe to it and leave a positive rating and review. It all helps. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Golden Rage of TV and on X at Golden Rage of TV 1. Wishing you all happy holidays, I'm your host, Pat McCormack, and thanks for listening to Retro TV Radio.